It has signed Jenny's Law nearly 1 year after a Channel 2 team investigation uncovered the jailing of a rape victim. It is the final chapter to a story that we broke last July. Since our reporting began, District Attorney Devin Anderson was voted out of office in a race that was defined by Jenny's case. Sheriff Ron Hickman was also defeated, acknowledging that Jenny's case affected his re-election. And the prosecutor at the center of it all, Nick Socius, was fired. I work with the Channel 2 Team Investigates team on this story. Tonight, investigator Robert Arnold explains what Jenny's Law is going to mean for all Texans.
For a young woman by the name of Jenny, an odyssey through our criminal justice system began in August of 2014.
She was treated worse than any other criminal.
At the time, Jenny was homeless and struggling with severe mental illness. She was raped by Keith Hendricks. In the months that followed, Hendricks was arrested and the case headed to trial. Jenny's testimony was crucial, but Jenny had a mental breakdown on the witness stand. The decision that followed created a shockwave felt all the way to the state capitol.
At the end of the day, she received less due process, less protection than her rapist did.
Jenny was initially hospitalized, but the DA's office also needed to make sure she came back to complete her testimony. After being released, prosecutors had Jenny put in jail on something called a witness bond. Jenny sat in the jail's general population for 27 days. Channel 2 Investigates obtained records showing some jail staff were confused as to whether Jenny was a victim or suspect. In jail, Jenny got in fights with another inmate and guard. Jenny completed her testimony and was released. Hendricks was convicted, but the damage to Jenny was done. She is suing the county.
This young lady should have never been put in the Harris County Jail. That is not an environment for a rape victim.
At first, then District Attorney Devin Anderson wouldn't talk on camera.
Was that your office's only option, ma'am?
I can't comment on that.
Anderson then released her own video defending the decision.
If nothing was done to prevent the victim from leaving Harris County in the middle of trial, a serial rapist would have gone free.
Despite standing firm on her prosecutor's decision, Anderson did order staff to get more training on how to handle crime victims who are mentally ill. Then Sheriff Ron Hickman also said he was not initially notified of Jenny's situation.
Once the circumstances was brought to our attention, we acted on it immediately.
The prosecutor who made the decision to put Jenny in jail, Nick Socius, eventually spoke publicly, saying it was the only option, and he tried repeatedly to get Jenny out of general population, but was rebuffed.
I say, well, that's not acceptable because I'm telling you she needs further treatment.
This entire ordeal became the focal point of the hotly contested race for district attorney. Kim Ogg was Anderson's challenger.
The pursuit of justice is the district attorney's job, not securing convictions at any cost.
By November, Anderson and Hickman lost their elections. Ogg terminated Socius when she took office. Lawmakers also responded by filing Senate Bill 291.
This bill is of highest priority.
State Senator John Whitmire's bill requires a hearing in open court before a witness bond is granted. If one is granted, an attorney will represent that witness, and regular hearings held to make sure the bond is still needed. None of those protections was in place when Jenny was put in jail. The bill sailed through the House and Senate. As for Jenny, her mother says she is getting the treatment she needs, but daily life is still a struggle.
I tell her that it's passed and I'm very proud of her, and then because of this, law is going to be passed for you and it's going to be called Jenny's Law.
Jenny's Law goes into effect on September 1st, and right now under the Investigate section of click2houston.com you can watch all of our stories in this series. Robert Arnold, KPRC, Channel 2 News.